Are you a loan officer looking to do more reverse mortgage loans without wasting tons of time or money on your own? Maybe you're working so hard, harder than ever before, and wondering about how life shouldn't have to be this hard. There has to be an easier way. Disclaimer, this is not a quick fix silver bullet class. It's just not. If you like headaches and misleading elderly clients, wasting your time and losing commissions in the process, love feeling completely confused without a mentor to guide you, then you could stop here because the rest of this information isn't for you. Now, before we dive in, I want to show you a little bit about what others are saying about what I'm about to show you. Marty says she knows her stuff. I've learned so much through her masterclass is not only about reverse mortgages, but also about how beneficial they can be to seniors. 6 out of 5 stars. Thanks, Marty. Claire says, I did Christina Harms-Heike's reverse mortgage class series. I am stoked about adding a new arm of business to my pipeline. The training was incredible and so helpful. Thanks, Claire. All right, so who is this webinar for? This is for loan officers who are looking to bulletproof, or I like to say recession-proof, their business, wants to do reverse mortgage loans, wants to take home more money while having more time and freedom. And loan officers who don't want to waste their time or money making lots of mistakes or trying to do it all yourself. I was that loan officer. You don't have to be that loan officer. Now, my goal for this webinar, once you have watched this webinar, my goal is that you will have all the necessary principles to bulletproof your mortgage business, help better serve your clients at a much higher level, and this will help you take home more money while working less. Can we both agree on that? Yeah? So who am I? Christina Harms-Heike, right? Why am I qualified to teach you this stuff? All right, backstory. I started in this industry as a first-time home buyer specialist. There was nothing more rewarding to me than handing a young couple the keys to their first house. That is so exciting. And it's a lifelong dream for most people. That was super rewarding for me. However, when I did my very first reverse mortgage, the wife hugged me at closing tighter than any client had ever hugged me before. She had tears in her eyes, and I could feel the relief wash over her, and it changed me forever. I had no idea that reverse mortgages could be this powerful, and they really can be. It made me see how powerful reverse mortgages can be, and I wanted more. And it also taught me how rewarding reverse can be, both financially for myself, for the client, and as an intrinsic. You really get to help people. So I dove in. I learned as much as I could. I got mentors. I got coaching. I became a reverse mortgage specialist. And I got my weekends and nights back. I didn't expect that part. I was just excited about everything else. The huge benefit was that I got my weekends and nights back. And I took home more money doing it. So why? Recession-proof, protect and grow your business. Serve seniors, get good reviews, make more money, and have more time freedom. Again, unexpected. Nobody talks about this stuff. I was so surprised that I was able to get so much time back while making more money. It made me see how powerful reverse can be, and I wanted more. It also taught me how rewarding it can be. So what did I do? I tried to learn it all on my own before I had a mentor, and the lender courses are good. But they just don't teach you how to originate. They don't teach you about the psychology. They don't teach you the the tricks and tips to actually do this in a very simple, clean manner and do it a lot and get your loans closed quickly. It felt like I was spinning my tires, just banging my head against the wall, trying to learn this all on my own. I kept wanting simple answers. And then I had an epiphany. It wasn't until I had an elderly client of mine that everything changed. We were working on the file with my team and my mentor at the time, and we had made a big mistake. We had overlooked a very tiny, weird guideline contingency, and it cost us this deal. This client, this couple, needed the reverse mortgage more than Any client needed any mortgage, I had offered them before. And I spent probably about 4 months banging my head against the wall trying to make it work. And at the end of the day, we just couldn't. There was something specific that wasn't going to be compatible with doing a reverse. That changed me forever. I vowed to never have that happen again. And how? By learning all of the ins and outs and really, really diving in. And from there, I've had a lot more epiphanies on how I can help more seniors and more loan officers. So my plan then was I made a commitment to myself that I'd never let that happen again. A commitment to helping other loan officers avoid the same mistakes I made, because that helps seniors not get into those situations, and better serve people they are called to serve while you make more money in the process. This is a complete win-win in my opinion. It wasn't easy. Of course, anything worthwhile isn't typically easy. It was hard. For every step forward I took, I felt like there was another challenge waiting where I last left off. I thought about giving up 100 times. The stuff can be hard. I learned so many new things, and more importantly, I had to unlearn all the things I learned from the forward mortgage side. So the old way was that the only thing was available was lender courses and an AE that I had to rely on. The AEs don't have enough time to teach you all of what you need to know, and it's really not their job. They have tons of accounts. They're there to help you on very specific issues, not teach you the whole thing. And the lender courses are great, but they're very topical. They don't actually teach you in a comprehensive way. It's kind of like getting a few pieces to a larger puzzle and never getting the rest of the pieces. This is why I've created what I've created for you guys. So it was really frustrating. I'm sure if you've tried to learn reverse on your own, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I just kept trying to force my way through it without stopping and without putting in the work and really learning with a mentor to do it right. So the new way, right? If you don't have the process to do reverse mortgages from the start to finish, you're losing out. Let's cut that. The new way. If you don't have the process to do reverse mortgages from start to finish, then you're losing out on hard-earned money and gambling with your own reputation. You want to learn it first before you try your first reverse mortgage, and not learn on a client, because that's a recipe for disaster. When you try to learn on your first file, it is a hard process on you and the client. Most reverse mortgage loan officers just go at it on their own. I get it. That's loan officers are kind of an ambitious bunch. But in this one arena, it can be so much simpler to have help. You really go hard when rates are up. You really go back to refinancing when rates are down. It's a very cyclical kind of feast or famine. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Meanwhile, there are not enough loan officers in reverse mortgage industry at all. And not enough that know from start to finish to help the majority of retirees who need their help. A lot of reverse loan officers have a limited knowledge, and they don't get files through that can totally be done because they didn't dive in. They didn't have a mentor like me to help. So I will be sharing 3 secrets today. 3 really good secrets. So stay tuned. We're going to get to all 3, and then we're going to help you start taking home more reverse mortgages and be the go-to for reverse mortgages like I am. All right, 3 secrets. Let's dive in. The first secret, referral gold mine. But the real question here is, are you willing to commit to this new level? Reverse is not easy, but once you get it down, it becomes easy. Maybe you're working so hard, harder than you ever have before, and wondering if life really has to be this hard. It doesn't have to be. I have 3 secrets to share with you today to make sure that it isn't that hard. Now, your referral goldmine, secret number 1. We're going to get into all of the other secrets in a bit, but this is the very first one. And this is the easiest one. This is why I start here. Your referral goldmine is actually your existing client base. People not over the age of 62, people that are not eligible for the product themselves. And you think, well, what? I was surprised when I found out this too. This is why it's a secret. Most loan officers don't know this. There are tons of referrals that you will get from people under age 62 for their elderly friends and family, maybe clients that do need this product. And they are one of the most important pieces to this puzzle. I'm shocked at how many loan officers I coach that don't really grasp this until it starts happening. And then they're shocked just like I was. All right, so you have more opportunity in your pipeline than you know. We call it the referral gold mine. This is where I have all of my private coaching clients start because it's the simplest, lowest hanging fruit. Typically, they make 2 or 3 times the cost of any of my coaching programs. Within the first few weeks, they bring those loans in simply with this one secret, and you're getting it here for free. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. It's a quote by Steve Jobs. I love this quote because in order to make reverse simple, you have to dive in and really understand all the complexities and then turn it back into simple language for your clients and referral partners to understand. That's no easy task, but it is very effective, and I can help you learn how to do all of that. All right, referrals. Why? We all know referrals are great. Of course, in the forward mortgage business, of course, they're great. I was there too. A lot of us build our business on that. But when I got to reverse, I understood that referrals are so much more important for a host of reasons. Let's get into them. Just like me, you do your best to get referrals from all your existing clients and you continue to grow your business. Of course, that's kind of natural with referral-based businesses, right? But just like me, you know that there are always a lot of opportunity around us where we least expect it. I'm going to help you see that. So in the beginning, my first reverse mortgages were all from really unexpected places, right? I had that first reverse mortgage, which was a referral from a financial planner that I was networking with. And after that one, I was just so excited about reverse mortgages. So we started doing seminars. And through those seminars, people would ask me what I was up to. And I would talk about how I was doing reverse mortgage seminars and how I was excited. And hey, there's one upcoming. And through that, just the people I was talking to before the seminar even happened, I would tell them about it. And surprisingly, I got referrals from people under age 30. I got referrals from realtors. I got referrals from my client base that I wasn't expecting. And I hadn't even done any of the steps I'm going to teach you. I was just excited and talking. This is when I knew I had found a gold mine where no one else was looking. So I continued to do the seminars in order to help educate more of my clients. And I came to find out that referrals are the best way to get repeat business time and time again, more so in reverse than I had experienced in any of my forward mortgage days. And I was in forward mortgages for about a decade before I turned to reverse. So we came up with a plan to market to younger audiences, which nobody else was really doing. And we had them because we already had a huge book of business from the first-time home buyers, from move-up buyers, from people refinancing. I'm sure you have a lot of these clients in your mind as well. What we didn't realize was that they had grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends and family, and like I said, clients sometimes that needed this product, and they didn't understand it, and I was the first person to talk to them about it. Now, the old way is marketing directly to consumers over the age of 62. You can do that. You're going to waste a lot of money. You're going to waste a lot of time sorting through leads that I consider crap leads. It feels spammy. Seniors get targeted so much already for so much, and some of these really are scams. And so when the idea of a reverse mortgage comes up in their head, they just kind of throw it out. That's not something they think they want, they need. If it's being a cold marketing piece, it doesn't land. You also get kind of the desperate clients, which makes your life a little bit harder as a loan officer to have to always really work super hard to qualify them and or tell them, hey, sorry, you don't qualify. And they also They're really, really hesitant to click on anything on the internet. What I found is a lot of seniors don't know how to unsubscribe from emails. So when they get to a page where it says, enter your email, they're just going to stop. We've analyzed some of that behavior. This is, again, why referral marketing is so important here. So instead, a loved one or a trusted friend or advisor will soften them up and get them to call me. Sometimes they will get that marketing piece in the mail and they'll mention it to their son or daughter or financial planner, or attorney, whoever. And that person will say, oh, yeah, Reverse is actually great, but don't use that company that you don't know. Go to Christina. I want you to be that person that they refer to. And that's what happens. So then you're using other people's marketing money, dollars, right? Mail marketing is not cheap. TV marketing is not cheap. You're using that to get people to you. All right, so you've probably asked yourself, how can I get more business? How can I increase my production while getting more of my time back? I've asked these questions too. Are there opportunities I'm not seeing? Who does this work for? Every loan officer who can answer the reverse mortgage questions and position themselves as the trustworthy, knowledgeable resource for people. When you become that, everything about this referral goldmine is so incredible. You waste so much less time and you truly have the confidence to move forward, which people can feel, and that helps you close more loans too. Now, if you've only been relying on repeat business and the clients you currently work with, then you're missing out on a big piece of the pie. So you might be thinking, how do we capitalize on this newfound information in our referral base? How do we turn the knobs in our favor to get more deals and much more business? Is it really possible to have hundreds of clients just from referrals? How do I get more reverse mortgages? That's the number one question I get. And how do I handle it when someone has a negative response or outlook about reverse mortgages? That's kind of the number two. And a lot of you loan officers won't mention this to me, but I feel it. I can feel the fear that you have about being accountable and responsible for all this information. I built my courses around this so that you can really feel confident, and that comes across. That helps you close more business. Now, is it realistic to think that I can do 2 to 5 reverse mortgages a month? Absolutely. I stopped doing forward mortgages when I got to the point where I could do reverse. Pays better. Typically, not all, but a lot of loans can. And so when you fill your pipeline with, you'll have some loans that are low, you'll have some loans that are big, but on average, I found that my commissions were larger when I moved to reverse. So I didn't have to do as many loans, which means you have to sort through fewer leads too. So you're getting your time back every which way. Now there's another key. Hang on till the end. I'm going to tell you one of the biggest secrets about getting your time back, but it is towards the end. We're going to get there, I promise. So what did I do? Step one, if I could do this in my 20s, you can do this. I'm guessing whoever you are watching this, you're older than 24, starting out in the reverse business. First, I added to my email signature line about how I do reverse mortgage, and how I love reverse mortgages. So I want you, this is your actionable step. I'm going to have many actionable steps, but this is the first one. Add into your signature line, ask me about reverse mortgages, or I love reverse mortgages. Ask me why. Interest in reverse, or today's reverse mortgage. That's really important language because reverse has changed over the years. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hang tight. You definitely need to see what I'm going to bring up. All right, step two. I let my entire client base, everyone I'd ever worked with, know that I was studying and becoming a reverse mortgage expert. I told them why I was excited about it and dispelled a bunch of the myths about it. And this gave my clients confidence. My excitement and trust in the product and trust in my ability to do the product well, to structure these reverse mortgages right in the right way for people, that came across. And that's important. People don't always talk about this stuff. All right, step three. I told all my clients I do reverse. Most people are too scared to put themselves out there. And that's what I've seen with loan officers. You might do a couple of reverses when they come your way, but you definitely don't talk about it. There's some magic in talking about it. And so I got out of my own way, and I want you to get out of your own way too. I learned every dang thing I could about reverse, so I knew the answers, and it conveyed confidence and conviction that gave me even more business. And I had a mentor I could fall back on. That was life changing for me, knowing that no matter what came across my desk, I could ask my mentor and we would figure it out together. I was no longer scared to talk about reverse. So I invested in myself first. You have to. If you're going to be the one to lead people through this, you've got to invest in yourself. I put in hundreds of hours learning from other coaches outside of the mortgage industry so that I could bring their success to myself in reverse mortgages and now to you as a reverse mortgage coach. How much? Over the last 10 years, I've spent over $83,000 on coaching programs and learning systems to develop my own pipeline, my own systems, my own coaching, the whole coaching business to bring it to you. A lot of this has been senior psychology too, which again is not talked about in this space and really needs to be. So I have trial and errored so many files and found so many, nobody told me that, so that I could bring them to you, because it's one thing to look up a guideline and it's another thing to get a condition saying, yes, we understand it meets the guideline. However, this weird thing over here needs to be provided. And hey, if you can't provide that, we can't close the file. I've done that so many times. I build into my course a lot of these, hey, keep in mind, if this is what you're facing, you will also need this. And that stuff, even at AEs, I have found at closing or when something blows up, I say, hey, why didn't you bring this up? And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess I probably should have told you that, huh? Yeah, you should have, thanks. So I beat my head against the wall so that you guys don't have to. All right, case study. I had a coaching client named Hank. I changed the name, obviously, for privacy. He'd been in the mortgage industry for about 12 years, and he didn't want to rely so heavily on realtor referrals, especially when the market, there was just not as many homes selling. Some of his realtors were leaving their industry, and so he was losing some of them, and also he just didn't like their attitudes. So he wanted an easier way. He wanted more loyal clients. He wanted his nights and weekends off to spend with his teenage kids that would be going to college soon. And he wanted to make more money too. So he turned to reverse. And yes, reverse can give you all of that. It has given me all of that. It has given countless clients all of that. You have to commit though. So I was coaching and he hadn't even gotten into the coursework, right? So with coaching, there's coursework that comes with it. But the first thing he did was add this signature line, like I just told you to do, the actionable number one step, add into the signature line. I encouraged him to do that and he did it. He had me to back him up, so he wasn't scared that whatever leads or questions came in, or maybe some arguments that came in, he wasn't afraid that he wouldn't be able to handle them because he had a backup mentor. So this gave him the confidence to move forward with it even before he really felt ready. And I want you to keep that in mind. You need to move forward before you feel ready. Within the first few weeks, Hank had received 2 referrals just from the normal email communications the clients had. Now, these referrals are more loyal because they're being referred by someone they trust and love and knows has their best interest at heart. That's so important. So Hank had his first 2 loans in the door before he could even do the coursework. But with me by his side, that was okay. Now, I always say learn it first, but with a coach or a mentor by your side, this format can work. And of course, he did dive into the coursework as fast as he could when those came in. All right, so some testimonials. If you're not working with Christina and her team, you are leaving money on the table. She is skilled, knowledgeable, and leads that process for you to follow. I'm so relieved and grateful to have learned so much from her. Excellent decision on my part that brought in extra income without the headache. And that is absolutely true, which is the opposite of what most people think, right? Reverse has to come with a lot of headache, a lot of just a lot of confusion. Maybe it's going to take 4 to 6 months. None of that is true. That's just because you're not doing it the right way yet. But you can. All right, so another testimonial. The more I learned from Christina, the more I realized how much of an expert she really is in the reverse mortgage industry. I feel blessed to have her as my mentor as she cheerfully shares her knowledge. No matter how complex the situation, Christina always teaches you to put the client at ease while putting them in a much better and secure financial position. That's really important. Like I said, the psychology behind some of this stuff, I have dove into in the deepest way, and you guys don't have to. I'm bringing you all of that in what I teach. All right, let's keep going here. Fact. Capitalizing on your existing client base and referral marketing is the best decision you can make as a reverse loan officer. I promise. There are other methods out there, but they're not as effective. You waste a lot more time, you waste a lot more money, you have to sort through a lot more leads. I personally hate having a call with a client who's argumentative and doesn't want to hear what I say. And that happens when you internet or TV or print marketing. All those marketing bring in a lot of people who are pretty argumentative. I don't want my day to be argumentative like that. So is it one of the core pieces? It is one of the core pieces I teach with all of our students, and I'm giving you some of that magic here for free. All right, there are 3 secrets. What's secret number 2? The other side of reverse. Nobody told me this. I just liked how amazing and impactful the product was on the client's life, and I didn't mind the larger commissions for my life. What I didn't understand, and people still don't really talk about, is that the work-life balance that I so wanted was on the other side of building my reverse mortgage business. Quick question. Have you ever been called away from a family dinner or other fun events because of work? Maybe you felt like you've been fatigued from having to be available 24/7. There's a very famous mortgage person that says, answer your phone always. There's probably multiple of them. I rejected that information. I didn't want to have to be available like that. If I was single at the time. If I was on a date, I wasn't going to tell my date, hey, I've got to go answer this client call because that's how my business works and I don't have time for you. All of that just never sat well with me, but I couldn't figure out how to not. Before reverse, I was available 24/7 and it was absolutely exhausting. So have you ever felt burned out and thought you might leave the industry entirely, but you don't really want to, or you don't really know where you'll go? You don't have to leave the industry. Just tweak it a little bit. Put in the investment in yourself. Learn reverse. Some of the backstory here. So I couldn't even date, like I said. I was single until I was 30 because I was determined to be a very successful mortgage loan officer, and I was, but the cost was pretty great. I felt like that's what my career needed. I was just grinding and grinding, available on nights, available on weekends. I think I did a signing at 11 o'clock at night one time at somebody's house. I just couldn't commit to social events. I couldn't commit to dating because I wanted to be available for my business and I wanted to have a big career while also having a nice personal life. Well, I couldn't figure out how to make that work. Maybe some of you have. I, at the time, couldn't. But I found the secret that I needed, which was that I could have a life with reverse mortgages. I didn't expect that when I first started them. I just thought it was a great loan. So the desire was I wanted to have my own life. I wanted to be able to partake in events and still have my business and be successful. And I'm sure you're much like me. Doing mortgages and skipping out on special events with the family or the wife and husband, the kids and friends. We've all been there, right? When rates go low, we just grind. Oh, I'll make the money now. I'll spend the time later. Well, sometimes that time can't be gotten back. I've been on vacations where I had to step away and I missed something that I really wished I hadn't missed. I knew that there had to be a better way. I stumbled upon it with reverse, and I'm telling you this secret that nobody else really talks about. As I went on, constantly being bogged down by realtors and agents on the weekends during my personal time. And then I realized that the more reverse mortgages I did, the less my phone rang after hours and on weekends. That was kind of nice. I was onto something. I wasn't sure what yet, but I had found the free time I was desperately looking for. And because I didn't have to have as many leads to get a closed file, and because one closed file paid bigger than one closed file of my previous forward loan business, I suddenly was making enough income and having more time. That was surprising to me, and I was so grateful for it. So the old way, I used to be a jack of all trades. Do any mortgage that came across my desk, figure it out. I'd grab a matrix, I'd call the AE. A mortgage kind of worked the same, whether it was, a VA, an FHA, conventional, non-QM, can be quite different. But I would figure it out. And the client would never know the difference. I'm sure you've had that experience, right? You're good at this stuff. Well, reverse made me come to a screeching halt with that belief and that sort of behavior. Because without prior training, regardless of the outcome, it just wasn't the same. There was so much to learn and know and ask questions on, and it just works so differently. So the reverse mortgages I did, the more reverse mortgages I did, and as I filled up my day, I was doing fewer of the other kinds of loans because my time was just committed to doing the reverse files. I noticed my phone stopped ringing after hours, and people started saying they wanted to meet on like a Monday at 10 a.m., which was great because I got my nights and weekends back without having to change industries. And I got to work with a class of people that I really, really enjoyed. They were very grateful. They weren't rate shoppers. And as you'll learn in some of my courses, rate isn't the main thing you should focus on with reverse. If you're talking about rate as one of the main topics, you're totally losing out, and you're not going to build a business that way. Now, rate is important, but it's just not one of the main things you should be leading with. So why does this work? Reverse mortgage clients are older. They're often retired. Boo, light bulb. They don't need or expect you to be available outside of normal business and banking hours, right? They're old school. Most of them were from a time where if it was a financial thing, they only had business hours. They look at you kind of like a bank. And I was not about to change that. If they wanted to meet on Tuesday at 2 p.m. instead of Tuesday at 7 p.m., I was for it. My mind was blown. Why hadn't anybody mentioned this? This is what I was looking for. Everybody talks about do more loans, do more loans. Nobody was talking about get your time and more money at the same time. Get your time back, more freedom. Then on top of that, as if you needed more, when you become the go-to loan officer for reverse, the business comes to you. Let that sink in. How nice would it be to know where and how your next loans are all coming from without having to do much about it? It's really nice. The business finds you because it's a niche, so there are not that many reverse loan officers. There are fewer that are actually good. I cannot tell you how many referral partners I've talked to, and they're calling me because they were referred to me, and they say something to the effect of, well, I had a reverse guy, but he couldn't answer the questions, and the last file he just kind of like dropped it. That is so common. Nobody tells you this stuff. You have to experience it or learn it from me because I've experienced it. It's a rare niche. Have you ever heard the riches are in the niches? It's true. And when I say riches, I don't just mean money. I mean my time, freedom. I have a family now. I found my husband. I got married, all since starting reverse mortgages. We go on vacations. I don't answer my phone during those vacations. I can afford a team to help me. It has been absolutely life-changing. I want this for you if you want it. So the results, I have way less anxiety about when and how my next loan is coming from. I know they're coming. I dropped the anxiety about being able to pay my bills, make good money, and have a sustainable business because I know I do. People come back to me over and over, and I never worry about the competition anymore. I haven't lost a deal to someone else in years. Why is that? Because of the way I speak, because of the knowledge I have about the psychology of this stuff, because of the way I structure, price, the way I work with referral partners. All of this I can teach to you, and I'm excited to. So in fact, my clients call me when they're solicited by other reverse loan officers. My favorite. I have one client who's probably sent me 8 different quotes over the last 4 years. Every time somebody sends something to him, and we've refinanced that client 3 times. He was approached by somebody else that saw, his value had gone up. It could work. Let's refinance your reverse. Which, if that's news to you, you have to take my courses. You can refinance a reverse mortgage. But anyways, so he calls me. We run through the numbers. I make sure that my quote is better than the one that he was receiving. And it doesn't take much. Most loan officers don't know how to price these things at all. And they're way more expensive than they have to be. Again, When you do a lot of reverse, you don't have to maximize your commissions on each one of them. And so you can show your client you're giving them a very good deal. Referrals increase from that, and you still make a decent amount of money. Don't worry about that part. All right, so step one, what did I do? I started building my referral network. I started positioning myself as the reverse mortgage go-to in my area and started talking about reverse everywhere I could. I almost stopped talking about that I did other loans because the other loans come to you, right? Oh, you're a reverse mortgage expert. Well, do you do normal mortgages too? Like if you're an expert in this one hard thing, well, obviously you can probably do easier loans. Yeah, absolutely, I can. So those come in anyways. I no longer do forward loans. I just don't enjoy it. But I don't want you to be afraid of talking about reverse and people not thinking you can do other mortgages. It still works. Step two, then what I did. I presented myself as this niche only, excuse me. I got a website and a CRM specific to reverse. Again, all of my private coaching clients, this is where we start. You're getting this tip and trick for free. I'm not going to teach you how to go about it. You can take my courses, or if you want to be a private coaching client, we can do that too. But this is where we start. So it really helped show that I was the reverse go-to. I was all in. People were not afraid to refer to me because I was a jack of all trades. That just didn't happen anymore. But Christina, I can hear you saying it. How can you get more work-life balance when you're doing so many loans? There's no way you can do just one type of loan and still be profitable and have time freedom. Oh, yes, you can, because you don't have to sort through so many. The secret is that I don't waste time on loans that I know won't go through. I don't waste time on pre-qualifications. I don't waste time sucking up to realtors. I don't waste time. I just got really, really efficient with everything I'm doing because I became that good that I can very quickly identify this is a go, this one's not. That saves you so much time. And it makes you more money, right? If in 1 hour I have 4 leads to look through and I can very quickly run them and say, okay, these 2 work, these 2 don't. That is awesome. That's very, very fast to be able to identify, okay, how are we going to make this one work? How are we going to make this work? Those 2 work, the other 2 don't. Let's roll. This is what I can show you. And this is where a lot of loan officers get really confused in reverse. We're going to get into why that is in a bit. I don't waste time on loans. And I don't have clients that bail at the last minute because of a cheaper rate option. That was one of the things that killed me in the forward space was I would work with a client for however long, not a day. Typically, it would be a decent amount of time, and halfway through the file or right at closing or maybe at beginning, but at some point they would have, especially millennials, which I am, they would go online and say, oh, well, I can get this super cheap rate from this terrible cheap company, and they would bail. And a lot of that is sales trying to get them back, and it would save some, but I have never had reverse clients do that at all. And so that sort of activity to me was just it just felt like I was not being paid what I was worth and being taken seriously for the knowledge that I had, because millennials kind of think they can do it themselves. So that is one aspect as to why I moved towards seniors, because they really did want an advisor to understand this stuff. It also makes us more money. We waste less time getting the mortgages in, of course, as I've said. So the secret is the work-life balance is on the other side of doing more reverse mortgages. Whether you completely commit and just switch your whole practice to reverse, or you just add in doing more of them, your client base will turn to be retirees, and you'll get your time back while making more money. So that's why the work-life balance is on the other side of building your reverse business. And if this is something that speaks to you like it did to me, I am so glad you're here. Stay tuned. I have a lot for you. The third secret, the silver tsunami. There is $11 trillion, T with a T, trillion, held in senior home equity today. That's a ton. Reverse mortgage penetration, market penetration, is 4%, meaning that only 4% of people who can do a reverse mortgage actually have done them. And you might think, well, it must not be a good product because of that. It's a great product today. It does have a bad reputation, and in my courses, I teach you how to get over that and the why, and explaining that in a real way. You have to be genuine in this space. So anyways, there are reasons that this has been the case, but The silver tsunami needs reverse mortgage more than anything else, and they don't know it. I know it. I can teach you to know it, and you can teach everyone around you to know it and send those people to you. It's coming. Are you ready to serve them? Baby boomers face retirement crisis, little savings, high health costs, and unrealistic expectations. This might blow your mind. Blew my mind when I learned a lot of this stuff. 34% of American baby boomers have no retirement. That's 1 in 3 people. If you line up 3 baby boomers, one of them has no retirement. That's scary. 51% of seniors have no pension coverage. I'm surprised it's 51% because I rarely ever see pension income in what I do. And when I do, it's tiny. It's like $180 a month or something completely minuscule. So I thought that would be, closer to 90% have no pension coverage. 62% of baby boomers do not have enough to retire on. That's not surprising. For a whopping 64% of seniors, 64%, Social Security makes up at least half of their total income. Now, if you talk to any financial advisor, they're going to tell you that Social Security should make up 1/3 of your retirement income. For the majority, right? 64% is a majority. It makes up half, which isn't much, right? I see Social Security checks all day, every day. They're like 1,000. They're maybe 2,000. I think the biggest one I ever saw was 4,000 a month. That's not a lot of money to live on, especially if that's taking up half of your total income. The costs of growing older are significant, and they're ever growing. Medical costs are crazy. Housing costs are going up. Inflation has been really high recently. You think that hurts when you're on a fixed income and inflation skyrockets? It is an absolute killer. Suddenly the milk they were buying is so much more, but the income that they have in coming in is the same. It's fixed, or it's increasing at a little tiny little bit. Cost of living doesn't help a lot. So for the average homeowner at retirement, their overall net worth is made up of 86% from the equity in their home. So you've got these people that their net worth is really, really high, but their actual cash they have to use is really low. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How can that be possible? Because it's all held in home equity, right? 11 trillion. That's a ton of equity. But they're not using it. And there's a lot of reasons why. One of the main reasons is people don't know about reverse, and what they think they know is actually wrong. But the other tools to get access to their equity come with a monthly payment, which seniors are very averse to for good reason. So don't take this and be like, oh, I got to go refinance all my seniors to a mortgage with a monthly payment. That's not going to work. It's the reverse mortgage that is the magic here. All right, quick story. Joellen and I changed each other's lives. This was a client. I had helped empowered her financially, and she helped me know that I wanted to do reverse mortgages to fulfill my calling to help other people for the rest of my life, right? That first one was awesome. It gave me the taste test that I wanted to say, oh, I want more of this. Joellen changed my whole perspective on what this product could do. Joellen's only family she had was her son, a veteran, and he'd been sending her money every month. Joellen was so proud of her son, John. Through getting to know her, she told me many stories of his military awards, and he was her everything. He was all she had in this world. About 6 months before Joellen met me, John had suddenly passed away, and she was absolutely devastated. But she wasn't just emotionally devastated. She was financially devastated too. Most older homeowners don't want to move. It's way more than just a financial situation. So while she did have a paid off home, thank goodness, she was not willing to cash in on it because it was her only place to live and she didn't want to be subject to rent. So to make a time even harder, she was devastated financially as well as emotionally. And it was just so sad. She had a very small Social Security because she hadn't worked most of her life. She was a stay-at-home mom, and that's part of the reason they were so close. She had no other retirement assets now, and without the help of her son, she was existing on $400 a month. But literally, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was not eating every day. She didn't share that, but I don't know how somebody could live on that. It was January. at the time, and she told me how she never turned her heat on, and she was this little frail tiny thing. She needed the heat on in her house. She would bundle up to be in her own home every day. And she's not the only one. I've met with more than one client like that. It sounds outrageous, but it actually exists, and they hide it. You don't really know it until you get into this sort of area. Many older homeowners end up running into a big wall. The reverse is the solution, and usually they don't know anything about it, or they think something bad and they have misconceptions around it. So Joella needed a new roof, and the property taxes were coming due soon, and she obviously needed heat. She needed to be able to turn on her heat. She had no way of paying for any of this, and let alone these big bills, and they were coming due, and she was really nervous. So even though her house was paid off, she wanted to stay in the home, and the only way she really could was a reverse mortgage. But she didn't understand them. She was afraid of them. So somebody at her church who I knew, who knew me, talked to her and said, you have to talk to Christina. Like, maybe you don't do the reverse, but at least have the conversation. Understand that option before throwing it out. And this is how I teach you to equip your referral partners with this kind of language too. So again, there's 11 trillion in home equity for the average homeowner at retirement age. Their overall net worth is made up of 86% from the equity in their home, but that's not cash. It sounds like a big number, but it's actually not a lifestyle number. It doesn't actually help them pay their bills. So Joellen was afraid of reverse mortgages. She told me all the terrible things she thought of reverse mortgages. I listened to her fears, and I asked more about why she thought that, and I teach you to do this too. She asked, and then I asked if I could share what I knew. And she said, yes, thank God. So when I finished addressing her concerns and explaining how the reverse mortgage actually works, she told me she was surprised about how much she had wrong. And this is a very common conversation. This is not just Joellen. A lot of people at the end of the explanation, they go, what? That's not what I thought. So she decided it was just the thing she needed. I thought so too. And then she said, how fast can we get this done? So the pressure was on, right? You take them from, oh no, I could never, I don't even want to talk to you, to, oh my God, I need that now. And so you got to know how to perform on this. I'll teach you all of that. I laughed and I assured her she would be our first priority, which she was. So 7 years ago, Joellen got her reverse mortgage. From that day to today, now she has a new roof on her home. She remodeled the kitchen she had always wanted to, but thought she could never afford. She receives $1,200 deposited to her bank account every month on the same day for as long as she lives in the home, even if she lives to be like 120. It's incredible. She has a safety net in a reverse mortgage line of credit. We call that a RELOC, reverse equity line of credit, of $30,000 in case she ever needs it. So she has a little bit of safety net. You know, if the water heater goes out or a pipe breaks, she's got something to draw on. Bigger than that, she has peace of mind and a great plan to age in the home that she loves without having to sell it to get access to the finances she needs. And she was able to keep her government assistance benefits. Now that takes real knowledge to be able to do. I was very proud of myself. This is the first clients I had to figure that out. I teach you to do that too. Not an easy thing to figure out how to make sure they can keep their government benefits with a reverse, but it can be done. All right, the ultimate goal. Become the guy or gal that's the go-to reverse loan officer. It's a really obscure and kind of intriguing profession to people, especially when you can communicate to them all the straightforward answers, make things simple, things that are not simple, things that are very complex, but you can make them simple in the way you speak about them. And you can do this with the information I teach you to use as well. And examples. So you need to be so good you carry others through. A little bit of a backstory here that I found pretty interesting when I realized it. I'm a lifelong swimmer, and through college I lifeguarded at Ocean Beach. And if you know San Diego, you know it's one of the most dangerous beaches out there. There's a pier, there's cliffs that fall, there's rocky entrances, there's jetties, there's really crazy rip currents. One of the hardest beaches to lifeguard at. So when I was a lifeguard, it was always amazing to me. On any given day, people would put their swim gear on and go carry whatever toys they wanted, a boogie board, surfboard, floaties, whatever. And I would watch some of these people go out. And they would swim or surf effortlessly through these really harsh conditions. I mean, waves in Ocean Beach would be anywhere from 2 feet to like 8 feet on a regular day, or there'd be a huge set that comes through randomly. And these people would make it look so simple. Then there would be other people who headed out and get completely clobbered, turned around, upside down, struggle to even find the surface, let alone get themselves to shore without help. So I would rescue those people. As a lifeguard, I had to be so good that I could not only navigate these hard conditions myself, but I could help someone else get out of these hard conditions so that they got to safety as well. I want you to realize that when it comes to navigating retirement and using home equity within a retirement plan, you cannot be the swimmer that gets clobbered because you don't know what you're doing. And you can't read the ocean, or you can't read the finances, the retirement, the reverse mortgage. You aren't even the swimmer that navigates it easily and makes it look effortlessly. You're the lifeguard. You're going to assist those people getting clobbered by life in retirement and the finances. You are assisting them to shore, to financial safety, to let go of that anxiety, let go of that worry, live in a much simpler way with worry-free and a much better financial situation. Do you think it took some extra training to become a beach lifeguard that could do that versus like a pool lifeguard? It did. It took a lot of extra training. They put us through grueling experiences. And to become a great reverse mortgage loan officer, you need this extra training. You need to grow a fantastic business by being so good that you can go into these harsh, terrible retirement conditions and pull people out of them. Now, it's done in a different way. You're not swimming out to go rescue them. You need to know the knowledge. It's all done up here. Now, to become a lifeguard, I also had to attend a lifeguard academy. There were teachers there that were lifeguards, but they were veteran. They were incredible. These guys were, and gals, there were a couple of women, they were in their 50s. And when we would do these athletic events, runs, swims, jumps, rescues, all these things, they could still beat even the top 20-year-olds in our class. I mean, guys that looked like Michael Phelps that I was running next to and I couldn't keep up with, these 50-year-olds would beat them. Now, I liken myself to being your reverse mortgage lifeguard academy instructor. I've been through it. I have been in this industry for about 20 years and I've specialized in reverse for about 10. And I can teach you so much so that you don't have to get clobbered like that. So what I did, once again, I niched down even further into this niche and stopped being the best kept secret. For a little while there, I knew all this stuff, but I didn't tell everybody that I possibly could. I didn't seek out referral partners that needed me. And once I started doing that, I found they wanted me too. They needed to have somebody to call when their clients had questions. I doubled down on being the go-to reverse loan officer and completely retracted from telling anybody I did other kinds of loans. Now, of course, those loans still came in. My client base knew I could do them, but it allowed me to become the best of the best and have lots of conversations about reverse. And that's important. You need to get into conversations. You need to see what people think out there about reverse mortgages, and you need to navigate, not arguing with them, but teaching and showing them in a gentle manner so they can actually understand. Not an easy task. So I went from being the jack of all trades and became a master of one. I can help you do that too. I started getting noticed and other loan officers wanted to talk to me. People wanted me to speak at events for seniors, for their sales forces, and aging in place events, right? When you can clearly communicate this stuff, people want to hear what you have to say because there are not a lot of people out there that can. So how did I do it, right? Because there are not enough reverse loan officers out there, yeah? They all turn to my knowledge. Let's cut that T. 53. Okay, start it again. How did I do it? Because there are not enough reverse loan officers out there, and I turned all my knowledge on how to do it and put it together for you, that is truly why I do this, so that every question asked can be easily answered. Because if it's not an easy answer, a lot of the time it doesn't stick. So just to recap, We're going to get into another thing after this. I have a special discount offer for you, but to recap, referral goldmine, secret number 1. Secret number 2, the other side of reverse, time, freedom, more money. Secret number 3, the silver tsunami is here. I used to say it's coming. It's here. You need to train up and train up quick. There are not enough reverse loan officers to service these people. I want you to ask, if all I did was model what works, what would be possible for me? I hope you're enjoying this so far. We've got something good in store for you. So I've taught you 3 secret tips. These are my free tips. Imagine what I teach you in the not free stuff. This is one of them. So I have 2 different courses for you. This course is my absolute hallmark favorite course. I just developed this one, and it teaches you how to get through so much more. This course will bring you to the expert level and the confidence that you need. So this is the Reverse Mortgage Mastery. And this course will take you from basic reverse mortgage knowledge to expert level knowledge to get more loans closed with ease. You learn from not just me, but also celebrity guest coaches, one of which is Dan Holtquist, the author of the main reverse mortgage book we all learn from, Understanding Reverse. And it teaches in-depth topics that will help you get to expert level knowledge and know-how to close more loans while at the same time growing your business. All right, so what are some of the modules? What's so special about this? Sales secrets for a higher close rate. That is one of my favorite courses. I have taken most every lender course that is out there, and I've never seen anything like that. And that's why I developed it, because I think the market needs this. All of these modules are that way, but that one I think is one of the most impactful ways to really make a lot more money in this industry. Understanding reverse rates and principal limit factors, you absolutely have to understand that. What locks, what doesn't. There's a bunch of different rates in reverse. It's not one rate. It doesn't lock the same. Your commission doesn't lock the same. It's all different. I teach you that there. Marketing for reverse. Now, I do teach you the various ways that I have marketed and has brought me a lot of success. In this webinar, you got one of them. There are more. Marketing ethically and compliantly. There are higher standards for reverse because the people we are marketing to, seniors, are a protected class. So you have to know how to communicate this loan. If you've ever said something like you have lifetime income for reverse mortgage, no, you could have lost your license for that. So I bring in one of the top premier reverse attorneys to explain a lot of this, and you get access to that in this course. Effectively using compensating factors and extenuating circumstances to become a reverse mortgage superhero. Earlier, I told you I get a lot of calls where people started somewhere else, and for whatever reason, they couldn't get that loan done. This module is where I teach you how I get those loans through so that you can do the same. And you can look at a loan that someone else has turned down and not immediately think, oh, well, it probably doesn't work then, because it's not typically true. Most loan officers out there don't actually know this stuff. Aging in place, networks, and referral partners. How and where do you find these amazing referral partners that continue to send you business, continue to call? Understanding and presenting the closing documents. Did you know that a reverse mortgage has 2 notes and the recorded loan amount is nothing at all that you've talked to your client about? You need to understand that, because I've had closings where they see that number and they want to stop the closing because it is a much higher number, and they call and I explain where it comes from, why it is, and then they finish signing. I can teach you that too in this course. And then all about LISAs, PCSAs, and TISAs. And if you don't know what those acronyms are, then you absolutely need this if you're doing any reverse mortgages. Those are very important factors to help people get a reverse who otherwise wouldn't qualify. And again, you get more closed loans for every lead. So who is this for? For loan officers who have been in the mortgage industry for at least a year. This is not for somebody who's brand new, because I use a lot of acronyms. I'm from the forward side. I use that knowledge to relate to the reverse stuff. If that is you and you're just wanting to go straight into reverse, reach out for me. You need private coaching. This course isn't going to be enough for you. But if you have completed fewer than 30 reverse mortgages in your career, this is for you. And I always laugh because people are like, reverse isn't that hard. Well, yeah, of course, you can stumble through 1 to 3 to 5 without really knowing this stuff. And I know a lot of people who have. And then you get completely clobbered by a file that's not easy, not typical, and you can lose your reputation because of it. I've seen some really horrible reviews for loan officers that just didn't know any better. Don't be that guy or gal. All right, reason people don't get started. Again, I did. I'm sure you do. Most of my clients completely underestimate how much there is to know. Even the people who know they don't know what they don't know, they come back and tell me, oh my God, there was even more that I didn't know. And there's still more I need to understand. It's incredible. There's a lot to this product. So they think they will just learn it as they go, which is an okay way to do traditional loans. Like, you should learn that stuff up front, but coming from experience, I know how easy it is to get through that stuff, and your client never knows the difference. I did it that way. But it's an absolute recipe for disaster. And it's a really good way to hate reverse mortgages for both you and your client. I can't tell you how many loan officers refer to me because they did one reverse and they hated it. Everything about it was so hard and it took 6 months, and oh God, reverse is just the worst thing ever. It's not. It's just the way they did reverse, how they approached it. And so I take that into account in my training to help you guys not have that experience. And I'm grateful for the referrals, but I'd really rather have more knowledgeable people out there, because 4% penetration is nothing. American seniors need this product, and we need knowledgeable people to explain it to them. The clients can be very frustrated when you set up expectations because you think those expectations are correct for a mortgage. Well, reverse has completely different expectations. Sometimes you can have 2 appraisals required. You need to know that and prep them for that. There's a bunch of different things that you need to know and prep them. Because when they get really off of what your expectations are because you didn't set the right expectations, they get really upset. It starts to poke holes, and they start to look a little deeper, saying, does this guy actually know what they're doing? And they leave. So you've got a loan probably 3 months in process, and you just lose the client. And it's sad. I know why that happens. And it's a bummer for the loan officer, and it's a bummer for the client. Some people don't move forward after that, and they really did need that reverse. All right, so the reverse processes are very different. You need to know what to expect so you can set up expectations. Now, the first call with the client, handled well, right? Not just any first call, but handled well, handled in the way that I teach you off of the magic sales script, we can lead to an easy, smooth, and fast closing. One of my processes is do more work up front, because then everything goes so much smoother and simpler. If not handled well, it can lead up to the loan dragging on 6 months plus. You've lost your locks. The whole loan looks different by the time you're close to closing. Clients are pissed off. The rate changes mid-loan. The comp changes mid-loan. All of this can happen when you don't know what you're doing. Now, it can happen when you do know what you're doing too, but at least you're aware of what's going on and how we got there. And you can communicate to your clients what's going on. So the end result that I see the most often is super frustrated clients who think you're a scammer. Now they think you're bad, and they think reverse mortgage is bad, and it's some sort of scam. I still have clients who call near closing, and they're like, hey, I haven't talked to you in like 4 days. And that just made me nervous because, like, reverse mortgages could be scams. So like, if you're going away, maybe it's a scam. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I reassure them, no, I'm here. And absolutely, there's just nothing to talk about, and get them through that. So interestingly enough, people still approach me with that. Imagine if I didn't know how to handle it. And I bet you've experienced that too. The nail in the coffin is the bad review that they'll leave, and it will ruin your reputation. I've seen many of these, and I've tried to help clients get them off their page, but they were right. And so a lot of the time Google won't take them down. All right, this is one that I hated and so sad. So this scumbag takes advantage of seniors. I would never recommend anyone to work with him for anything, especially the reverse mortgage loan. That's a real review. And I know that loan officer simply bit off more than he could chew. He didn't know the answers to their questions, so it seemed scammy. He couldn't answer things on the first try. He was nervous and anxious and trying to avoid talking to them, all of which, from the client's perspective, looks like a scammer. They were very, very pissed. This was a review on his page. He had other reviews. Now all the stars came down to like 3. I don't need to explain how horrible that is for a business. You don't know how much you have bit off until you're in over your head, or you actually take my word for it and learn this stuff up front. Don't do it this hard way. Please, if I could spare anybody from doing it this hard way. All right, so another testimonial. There's a lot of value across the spectrum. Everything from the sales to the interview to the intricacies of reverse vision, that's our LOS, of creating a proposal, well worth the money. Now, there are other LOSs too. This is one of the main ones. I said thank you, and Ernie said he signed up for the Mastery. This is the course I'm talking to you about today, the Mastery. He's excited to learn more. Ernie's doing amazing. So what you'll get when you invest in yourself and your skill set with this course, you're going to get experts in the field of coaching, teaching you the ins and outs of this complex loan. I mean, people that speak at every reverse mortgage event, including myself, teaching the masses. Well, there's not that many, so a few hundred loan officers hopefully will increase that number. You'll get a deep understanding of how it all works and how to be able to explain it easily and simply to your prospects and referral partners. Now, as I said, it's not easy or simple. It's complex and difficult, but when you understand that, you can make it look easy and simple and have it be easy and simple for your clients. Like, again, like the swimming example, you've watched somebody completely splash around, not getting very far very fast. And then you watch Michael Phelps in the water and he looks like he's doing it effortlessly. There's a huge difference. I love that analogy because it's just so true here. You will get my proven method and process to become the top reverse mortgage producer like I have been for years. And you'll even have the freedom to stop doing other kinds of loans should you want to. I've coached lots of people who don't want to stop doing other loans and they keep them as part of their business. But a lot of them end up hiring another loan officer to take those leads because they're just easier and simpler. And once you have these skills, you want to do more reverse. It's a really great way to build your business. So the other part is that the other loans just don't pay as well, typically. Now, you need to know how to price because you can price yourself right out of comp and actually have to pay to close a loan, which I have done. And the client needed it. This market situation changed, but you need to know this stuff because you don't want to be surprised by it. Once you position yourself as the knowledgeable, caring, expert advisor they can trust, that's huge. You're going to not only know how and what to do to get the loan closed, but how to keep yourself and your business ethical and effective, even when it comes to advertising for reverse and speaking about it. You're going to know what to expect when the loan has closed and how to guide your clients to never become one of those horrible news stories that you hear about that they accidentally breach their reverse contract. But the news doesn't tell you that, right? The news just says, oh, seniors being foreclosed upon. How terrible. What actually happened is they breached the reverse mortgage contract. They didn't understand what they were supposed to do. And so now the lender, FHA has dictated, has to do these certain steps to go to foreclosure. When you prepare your clients for that, they're never going to be that case. You don't want to be that loan officer. And you'll get an understanding of the objections. There are a lot of them. What the client isn't saying and how to address their needs anyhow. Even if they're not saying certain objections, they have them. They're just not telling you. All right, so here's an overview of all of the different pieces. Another testimonial. Each of the 5 masterclasses was superb. Also, there is a whole class dedicated to handling objections. To me, the best class was the sales script. What to ask and when, and that sale is in the silence. Excuse me, sorry, okay. Just listening to what the goal is by the interview answers. That's one of the most important pieces. I help you learn to listen for what they're really trying to solve, regardless of what they're actually saying. All right, bonus content. There's also bonus content in here. I love adding bonus content. So for you watching all the way through this webinar, I know it's been a time commitment. Thank you for being here. For those of you who become part of the Mastery course, we're going to be giving you the exact guide for servicing, setting client expectations for having a reverse mortgage. That's important. That's what I was saying. Don't let your client end up on the news. That's that module. You have everything necessary in this course to be a successful reverse mortgage professional. Testimony. I love this series. So much value in every penny. So now you have 2 choices here. You can continue to do what you're doing, don't make more loans happen, and you don't get the freedom you want. And some of you will choose that, and that's fine. Or you can do something different. You can invest in yourself. You can take the course. You can learn everything there is to learn about reverse. You can get more referrals, more loyal clients, become the go-to LO in your area, right? Close more deals, build more client relationships, referral partner relationships, and have more total free time. Maybe at a higher income level than you were before. But the real question here is, are you willing to commit to this new level? That's a question you've got to ask yourself and you have to answer for yourself. This course will take you from basic reverse mortgage knowledge to expert level knowledge. The top people in this industry have participated in helping me build this course to get more loans closed with ease. Christina, myself, along with other celebrity guest coaches, we help you learn how to do all of this while also growing your business. That's an important piece of this. Again, the sales secrets for a higher close rate and principal limit factors, super important stuff. If you don't know what principal limit factors are, you absolutely have to take my courses. Like, that's how we speak. We don't have LTVs in reverse. We have principal limit factors, and they're way different. There's this huge chart they're based on. Ethical and compliant language. Again, if you've looked at any of the cases where a reverse mortgage advertising got nailed to the wall by CFPB, it's brutal. It's stuff that people just don't know. And it's stuff that would have been okay to advertise for regular mortgages, but you cannot say in reverse mortgage advertising at all. So we've decided to do a special offer for all of you here. We've got the Reverse Mortgage Mastery with all of this, which is usually $11,997, but for everything here today and the bonus content, we've marked it half off. I need more help. I can't handle all the leads. You guys need to be able to do this. I'm not licensed in every state. We need to be able to help more people, and this is how. So we've offered 50% off everything and a little bit of bonus content for you. All right. Take advantage of this today. I'm not going to keep the price 50% off for any longer than this webinar. If you'd like more info, click the link below and come join us. If you are not in my Facebook group, find my Facebook group. Just type into the groups Christina Harms Reverse Mortgage Training for Loan Officers and join that group as well. It's a wonderful community. It's free. I go live and have regular training, and you can ask more questions in there. Thanks for being here today.